Chloe thought she knew the man she was going to marry. Every morning, he kissed her goodbye, grabbed his coffee, and promised they'd finally start planning their future together. But one rainy Thursday night, Chloe got a phone call from a woman who whispered 3 chilling words. "He's lying to you." And that was only the beginning. At first, Chloe laughed it off. Her boyfriend, Ethan, was the calmest person she'd ever met. He remembered birthdays, called her mom every Sunday, and never raised his voice. The kind of guy people trusted instantly. But that unknown caller knew Ethan's full name, his car model, even the watch he wore every day. How could a stranger know all that? Chloe was about to find out something terrifying. That night, Ethan came home late. His white shirt smelled like expensive perfume Chloe didn't own. When she asked where he'd been, he froze for half a second before smiling. "Work ran late," he said casually. But Chloe noticed something strange. Ethan always placed his phone face up on the table. That night, he hid it in his pocket immediately. Why was he suddenly acting nervous? The answer would destroy everything. The next morning, Chloe couldn't stop thinking about the call. So she did something she'd never done before. She followed him. Ethan drove across town instead of heading to his office downtown. He stopped outside a small suburban house with blue shutters. And then, a little girl ran outside screaming, "Daddy." Chloe felt the blood drain from her face. But the truth was even darker. Before we go further, take a second to like and subscribe if you love suspense stories that keep you guessing until the very end. Because Chloe's nightmare was only starting. She watched Ethan kneel down and hug the child tightly. Then another woman stepped onto the porch, wearing a wedding ring. Was Ethan secretly married? Or was there something even more twisted happening here? Chloe was about to make a dangerous mistake. Instead of confronting him, Chloe took pictures. Her hands shook so badly she almost dropped her phone. She expected anger, cheating, maybe betrayal. But not this. Ethan kissed the woman on the forehead before entering the house like he belonged there. Chloe sat frozen behind the steering wheel for nearly 20 minutes. Who had she really been dating for the past 3 years? Then she noticed something impossible. Parked in the driveway was Ethan's car. But another identical car sat beside it. Same model. Same color. Same license plate numbers, except for 1 digit. Chloe blinked repeatedly, thinking stress was making her hallucinate. Was Ethan copying someone else's life? Or was someone copying his? Nothing made sense anymore. That evening, Chloe searched Ethan's apartment while he showered. Inside an old gym bag, she found stacks of cash wrapped in rubber bands. No explanation. No bank envelopes. Then she uncovered something worse. 2 driver's licenses. Both with Ethan's photo. Different names. Chloe's heart pounded so loudly she thought he might hear it through the bathroom door. What kind of man was she living with? The answer terrified her. Suddenly, the shower stopped. Chloe barely shoved everything back before Ethan walked out wearing a towel. For one horrifying second, he stared directly at the bag. "Everything okay?" he asked softly. She forced a smile and nodded. But Ethan kept watching her, almost like he knew. And that's when Chloe realized something chilling. She might not be safe anymore. The next day, Chloe called the number that had warned her. This time, the woman answered. Her voice trembled. "You need to leave him," she whispered. Chloe demanded answers. But before the woman could explain, Chloe heard a loud crash, followed by screaming, and then the call disconnected completely. After that, the number never worked again. What happened to that woman? Chloe was too afraid to learn the truth. Days passed, but Ethan became strangely affectionate. Flowers. Expensive dinners. Surprise gifts. Almost like he sensed her pulling away. But Chloe noticed another detail. Every night around 2 a.m., Ethan left the apartment for exactly 45 minutes. No explanations. No excuses. Where was he going in the middle of the night? One answer changed everything. This time, Ethan drove to an abandoned storage facility near the edge of town. The place looked deserted. But inside Unit 214, lights flickered behind the metal door. Chloe crept closer quietly. And then she heard Ethan arguing with someone. "You promised me this was over," a man shouted. Chloe stopped breathing. Because the voice sounded exactly like Ethan's. Confused and terrified, Chloe peeked through a crack in the door. Inside stood Ethan, face to face with another man who looked almost identical to him. Same eyes. Same build. Same voice. Chloe stumbled backward in shock. Twins? Impossible. Ethan had always claimed he was an only child. So why had he hidden someone who looked exactly like him? That secret was hiding something monstrous. Before Chloe could escape, her phone vibrated loudly. The room went silent instantly. Footsteps rushed toward the door. She sprinted back to her car and sped away trembling, barely able to breathe. But when she checked her phone at a red light, her stomach dropped. A text from Ethan appeared. "Why were you at the storage unit?" Chloe never told him where she'd gone. So how did he know? That night, Chloe locked every door in her apartment. Then she searched public records online. After hours of digging, she found an old newspaper article from 16 years earlier. 2 young brothers had vanished after a house fire killed their parents. One brother was rescued. The other was presumed dead. The rescued child's name? Ethan Walker. But if the second brother survived, then who was Chloe really living with? The nightmare was only growing darker. The following morning, Chloe confronted Ethan directly. At first, he denied everything. Then suddenly, he started crying. Real tears. He admitted he had a twin brother named Lucas. According to Ethan, Lucas became unstable after the fire and disappeared years ago. "He ruins every life I build," Ethan whispered. But Chloe noticed something disturbing. Ethan never once denied having 2 identities. Ethan claimed Lucas was impersonating him. Using fake IDs. Stealing money. Destroying relationships. It sounded believable. Almost too believable. Then Ethan grabbed Chloe's hands tightly. "You have to trust me," he begged. But trust was already shattered. And Chloe had no idea she was speaking to the wrong brother. That evening, Chloe visited the suburban house again. This time, the woman answered the door immediately. Her expression changed the second she saw Chloe. "You're the new one," she said quietly. "New one?" The woman introduced herself as Hannah. And then she revealed something horrifying. She had been with Ethan for 7 years. But Chloe wasn't the first secret girlfriend. Hannah pulled out an old photo album. Inside were pictures of Ethan with different women over the years. Different cities. Different names. Every relationship ended suddenly. Without explanation. One woman even disappeared completely. Chloe's hands turned ice cold. Was Ethan living multiple lives at once? Or were both brothers involved together? The truth was finally closing in. Then Hannah revealed the worst part. The little girl Chloe saw? She wasn't Ethan's daughter. She belonged to Lucas. According to Hannah, the brothers switched identities constantly. Sometimes even fooling the people closest to them. No one could tell which brother was which anymore. Not even Hannah herself. And Chloe suddenly remembered something terrifying. A scar. The man Chloe loved had a small scar near his shoulder. But the man at the storage unit didn't. Or maybe it was the other way around. Her memories started collapsing under pressure. Had she ever truly known who slept beside her every night? Then Hannah asked a chilling question. What if the brother you met first wasn't Ethan? That possibility changed everything. Chloe returned home in a panic. The apartment was dark. Silent. But on the kitchen counter sat 2 wine glasses. Someone else had been there recently. Then she noticed muddy footprints leading toward the bedroom. Her chest tightened as she slowly pushed the door open. And froze instantly. A man sat in the darkness, smiling at her. But which brother was it? "I know Hannah talked to you," the man said calmly. Chloe tried to study his face carefully. The scar was there. So this had to be Ethan, right? Then he said something impossible. "She always confuses us." His voice sounded steady, almost rehearsed. But Chloe noticed another detail. He was wearing Ethan's watch on the wrong wrist. And suddenly, she knew she was in danger. Chloe ran for the front door, but the man grabbed her arm. "You don't understand," he whispered desperately. "He's going to kill me." Before Chloe could react, another voice echoed from the hallway. "No," the second man said coldly. "She's talking about you." Chloe turned slowly. Both brothers stood inside the apartment staring at each other. And neither looked sane anymore. The brothers began accusing each other rapidly. "He stole my identity. He manipulated everyone. He started the fire." Chloe backed away trembling. Who was telling the truth? Was either of them innocent? Then one brother suddenly shouted something that silenced the room completely. "Ask her about the basement." The atmosphere changed instantly. For the first time, genuine fear crossed the other brother's face. Chloe noticed it immediately. "What basement?" she whispered. Neither man answered. Then the power suddenly went out across the apartment. Darkness swallowed everything. A loud crash exploded from the kitchen. Glass shattered. Someone screamed. And Chloe realized she had become trapped inside their war. Using her phone flashlight, Chloe stumbled toward the hallway. One brother lay unconscious beside the wall. The other was gone. Then she heard footsteps downstairs. Slow. Heavy. Deliberate. The basement door creaked open by itself. Chloe should have run. Every instinct told her to escape. But curiosity pulled her downward anyway. The basement smelled damp and rotten. At the far end of the room stood dozens of filing cabinets. Every drawer was labeled with women's names, including Chloe's. Inside her folder were photographs, receipts, recorded conversations, even copies of her texts. Someone had been documenting her life for months. But why? Then Chloe discovered something even worse. Hidden beneath the files was a stack of missing person posters. One face instantly stood out. The woman who had called Chloe weeks earlier. Reported missing. Last seen near Ethan's apartment complex. Chloe's breathing became frantic. Had one of the brothers hurt her? Or had both been involved all along? Suddenly, footsteps echoed behind her. Chloe turned slowly. One brother stood at the bottom of the stairs holding a flashlight. "You finally know," he said quietly. His face looked exhausted. Broken. Then he revealed the unthinkable truth. There was never a good brother and a bad brother. The twins had spent years covering for each other's crimes. Until one betrayal tore them apart. According to him, the brothers manipulated women together for money, fake identities, and emotional control. They switched places constantly to confuse victims. If suspicion grew too strong, they disappeared and started over elsewhere. Chloe felt sick listening to it. Everything in her relationship had been carefully staged. Even their first date. Even the moment they accidentally met. But then the brother admitted something unexpected. He wanted out. Years ago, he tried leaving the scheme behind after meeting Hannah. That's when the other twin became violent. Paranoid. Obsessed. "He won't let anyone escape," he whispered. Was this finally the truth? Or another manipulation tactic? Chloe didn't know what to believe anymore. Suddenly, a loud bang exploded upstairs. The second brother had regained consciousness. "Don't trust him," he screamed from above. "He killed the missing girl." The man beside Chloe clenched his fists angrily. Then he said something that made Chloe's stomach twist. "She's not dead." Silence filled the basement instantly. If that woman was alive, where was she being kept? The brother led Chloe deeper into the basement toward a hidden metal door behind old shelves. Inside was a small locked room. And sitting in the corner, terrified and pale, was the missing woman herself. Alive. She burst into tears the moment she saw Chloe. "He said he was protecting me," she whispered shakily. Protecting her from what? The answer was horrifying. According to the woman, the twins became convinced the police were hunting them years earlier. Paranoia consumed them completely. They started spying on everyone around them. Recording conversations. Tracking movements. Eventually, they stopped trusting each other too. That's when the mind games became dangerous. The brothers weren't just liars anymore. They were unraveling psychologically. Then alarms suddenly blared upstairs. The second brother had triggered the building's fire system. Water poured from the ceiling as flashing red lights filled the basement. For a terrifying second, Chloe remembered the childhood fire from the newspaper article. And then she understood something chilling. The brothers were repeating the trauma that created them. Chaos exploded everywhere. One brother dragged the missing woman upstairs while the other blocked Chloe's path violently. "You can't leave," he snapped. His calm personality was completely gone now. The mask had finally fallen apart. Chloe grabbed a metal pipe from the floor desperately. Because she realized this might become a fight for survival. The basement lights flickered wildly as smoke filled the stairwell. Chloe swung the pipe hard enough to escape past him and sprint upstairs. But when she reached the living room, both brothers were gone. Only the missing woman remained, crying uncontrollably. Then police sirens echoed outside. Someone had called 911. But who? That mystery changed the ending entirely. Police searched the building for hours. They found fake passports, stolen cash, surveillance equipment, and dozens of forged identities. But the twins had vanished completely. No bodies. No arrests. Nothing. It was like they disappeared into thin air. And Chloe thought the nightmare was finally over. She was wrong. 3 weeks later, Chloe tried rebuilding her life. New apartment. New phone number. New routine. Then one evening, she opened her mailbox and found a plain white envelope inside. No return address. Her hands shook as she opened it carefully. Inside was a single photograph of her sleeping in bed the night before. Someone was still watching her. Written on the back of the photo were 5 chilling words. "You chose the wrong brother." Chloe nearly collapsed reading it. Which brother sent it? And what did a wrong even mean? Had one of them survived nearby this entire time? Or had the twins switched identities one final time before disappearing forever? No one knew the answer. Police reopened the investigation immediately. But detectives uncovered another disturbing detail. Neither Ethan Walker nor Lucas Walker legally existed anymore. Every official document connected to them had vanished. Birth records, school files, medical histories. Almost like someone erased the brothers from existence completely. But who had that kind of power? The mystery kept growing darker. Then Chloe remembered something from the basement files. There had been names she didn't recognize. Dozens of them. How many victims were out there? How many lives had the twins infiltrated over the years? The deeper investigators looked, the stranger things became. Cases from multiple states suddenly connected together. And the pattern stretched back nearly 15 years. One detective eventually shared a terrifying theory privately with Chloe. What if the brothers weren't running from police? What if they were running from someone else entirely? Someone connected to the original fire. Someone powerful enough to erase records and hide identities. Chloe stared silently, unable to process it. Because that possibility meant the nightmare was far from finished. Months later, Chloe finally began speaking publicly about everything that happened. Interviews, podcasts, documentaries. Most people believed her story immediately. Others thought the trauma had broken her mind. But one night during a live interview, the host asked a question nobody expected. What if one brother never existed at all? The room went completely silent. The theory sounded impossible at first. But psychologists reviewing the case noticed disturbing inconsistencies. No photograph ever showed both brothers clearly together before adulthood. No fingerprints conclusively separated them. And every witness account contradicted another. Was Chloe dealing with twins? Or one deeply fractured man living multiple identities? That possibility haunted her endlessly. To this day, nobody knows the full truth. Some believe the brothers escaped overseas. Others think one killed the other long ago. And a few investigators secretly suspect something even stranger. That Chloe may have fallen in love with a man who changed personalities so completely, even he no longer knew who he was. But one final discovery made the story even darker. Last year, a woman in another state reported meeting a charming man named Ethan. Same smile. Same voice. Same habits. She claimed he disappeared overnight after she found fake IDs hidden inside his closet. When detectives showed her Chloe's old photos, she pointed at one picture immediately and whispered, "That's him." But then she said something that chilled everyone in the room. The scar was on the other shoulder.